Welcome back to another video on the channel now today. Today is a very unexpected video. I wasn't expecting to make this one, but today we are back with another video on Wrexham AFC, and more importantly, we are talking transfer news relating Wrexham. But before we get going in today's video, if there's anyone watching this that could get down there and subscribe, we're just over 100 away from hitting 19k. So, I mean, if you could subscribe, and if you're new watching this and looking for all the best Wrexham content on YouTube, this is the place to be ahead of our League 2 season. Matchday vlogs, the first one is coming on Saturday away at Wimbledon, so click the notification bell because you do not want to miss that. And yeah, let's get talking about the two players we have been linked with in the past 12 hours. So the first player that has been linked with a move to the racecourse ground is Peterborough United striker Kabongo Shimanga. We're going to be talking about all the details about this possible signing. So according to an online resource, Team Talk, Wrexham today have submitted a £500,000 bid, £500,000 for Kabongo Shimanga, who currently plays for League One side Peterborough United. Now, before we get into talking about this potential deal, this would obviously make Shimanga Wrexham's most expensive signing of all time, £200,000 more than our current holder Ollie Palmer when we did sign him for £300,000 from AFC Wimbledon. Now, if you're thinking why Wrexham after another striker, I mean, it's stating the obvious that we need one to replace Paul Mullin, who has actually flown back today from America, but it's unlikely that he will make an appearance anytime soon in a Wrexham shirt. So it's important that we do get a high quality replacement, and Shimanga could fit the bill really well for that role. Now let's get to know Kabongo Shimanga a little bit better. Now, a couple of you might know Shimanga from his days at Chesterfield. Obviously 2 seasons ago, Rob Lainton, our goalkeeper, did actually save a Shimanga penalty in that 1-1 draw, and I think, if I'm right in saying, Rob McElhenney did say in the documentary that he would love to have signed Kabongo Shimanga in the January transfer window of that season, but obviously he opted to stay at Chesterfield and then later sign for Peterborough. Shimanga is a 26-year-old striker who's played most of his career in non-league, but obviously at the minute he's playing in League 1 for Peterborough United, where he's only made 9 appearances for the Posh. Obviously, cash in mind back, he did leave Chesterfield in January on a loan deal to Peterborough until the end of the season, and he did have that option to sign on a permanent at the end of the 22-23 season. And obviously that did happen, and Shimanga's only featured once so far this season in the Carabao Cup against Swindon Town. Last year, obviously, he didn't score any in those 9 games, but he did actually score a penalty in the penalty shootout in the playoff semis v Sheffield United. But I mean, 0 goals in 9 games, you can't really look into that too much. It's League 1. He obviously didn't get the game time that he obviously wanted, and I'm sure 9 appearances in those games were not starts. And like I said, don't let that goal scoring record deceive you. As for Chesterfield, he did actually score 31 goals in 44 games at his short spell at the Spyrites, and I think if we all know, he broke his leg away at Weymouth in February, I think it was, and cash your minds back. If I'm right in saying he scored 27 in 24 or 24 in 27, it might be one of those two, but we all know he would have probably gone on to break the National League scoring record. But obviously I think he ended up finishing second in the Golden Boot race, but yeah, he stopped playing in February, obviously, when he broke his leg. So I mean, that season he was on absolute fire. He looked so promising. And then before he joined Peterborough United, he was very close to signing for Championship outfit Birmingham City, but the rumours were that he did actually fail his medical. I don't know how true that was, but it was rumoured as well that a number of other Championship clubs alongside Hearts of Midlothian, who were strong favourites to sign him before he opted to move to Peterborough United. So he was a highly regarded striker when he obviously was on the peak of his form at Chesterfield. We know what he's about. He's attracted interest from higher clubs previously, and about his game style, we obviously know he can score goals. The only thing that he doesn't really have compared to Mullin is that work rate. Obviously Mullin works his socks off for 90 minutes. Shimanga doesn't really have that, but you know when Shimanga's on the pitch, he will score goals. Obviously as well, we saw on Sky Sports last night after the Wigan Athletic Carabao Cup game as well, what a win that was on penalties. I mean, really good performance from what I've heard, and we deserved to win it. And yeah, we did get it done on penalties, and we're looking forward to the draw tonight. So yeah, Parkinson confirmed that we had put a few offers on the table for strikers before the start of the Wigan game, and it looks like Kabongo Shimanga could be one of those strikers. This could make perfect sense, as he is, like I said, a proven goal scorer, 120 goals in his career for the likes of Chesterfield, Boreham Wood, Oxford City. He's played for MK Dons, he's played abroad, he's got a vast amount of experience, and at 26 years of age, he is in the peak of his career, and this could be the best time that we could possibly sign him. Not to state the obvious, but when we are going in for these strikers, we're obviously looking to be getting a striker in that has the similar game style and same style to Paul Mullins, so Shimanga could be one of those. He fits the bill, he's clinical in front of goal, he's tough to handle when he does come up against the opposing defenders, and most importantly, he puts the ball in the back of the net really well, as we've seen 120 goals in his career, and like I said previously, he is in the peak of his career, 26 years of age. There's a no better time to sign him than now. I think £500,000, I'll get onto it at the end of this video, but 500k, it's a good amount for a player that's 26 years of age. We know he's proven in the past for National League clubs he can score goals, and obviously if Birmingham City, Hearts are after him and a couple of other Championship clubs, it's clear to see that he is a man of many qualities. So yeah, £500,000 could be a lot, but obviously with Shimanga joining Peterborough United in June, obviously coming off that loan spell, he did have that option to sign permanently, and they did take that upon, and it was £700,000 to £950,000, the rumoured fee for Kabongo Shimanga. So they're not going to want to make a loss on him, or if they are going to make a loss on him, they're going to want it to be by fine margins, and £500,000 is probably the minimum of what they possibly want to accept, considering he went for £700,000 to £950k. If it was the minimum, then £200,000 wouldn't be a great amount of loss, but with him only playing 9 times for the club, he's unproven at the Posh, and the fans don't really know what he's all about. They haven't seen him properly play for them, and to lose him like that in the click of a finger, it will be interesting to see if he will go to Wrexham, especially for a £500,000 fee, or whether they'll want to keep hold of him. And yeah, on the topic of him being £500,000, if we're wanting to get a good replacement in for Mullin, and a replacement that is going to score goals, and one that's the higher end of the list that we have put together for potential strikers, then obviously big money bids are going to be needed. We're not going to get them for dirt cheap. We're going to have to put these big money bids in for these strikers, and it's just a case now if Peterborough United will want to let him go from the club for £500,000. If I was a Peterborough fan, I'd be quite annoyed, because obviously they've only seen him 9 times in a Peterborough shirt, and I can guarantee that in those 9 games he probably hasn't even played a full 90 minutes, so he's definitely unproven in a Peterborough shirt. But I mean, if the right amount of money does come in for Shimanga, and if it's a bid they feel that they need to accept because he won't play a part in their plans this season in League One, then of course they're going to accept it, and then happy days for Wrexham. So yeah, I mean, Shimanga on a whole, he's a clinical striker. It'd be a great signing. If we could get him for anything under £500,000, then that ticks the box for me of a great signing. And the likelihood of this signing out of 10, I'd probably say the likelihood is 6 out of 10. Obviously, these rumours are going to come about every so often about us trying to sign big names. People have done it in the past, making rumours up just for clicks and views on their profile. If this signing was to happen, I'd give an 8 out of 10. It would be a 10, like I said, if we could probably budget down to maybe £350,000, £400,000, then I think we've got a very good signing on our hands. But 500k, £500,000, I mean, we wouldn't have planned on signing Shimanga if it wasn't for Mullin's injury, but it is what it is. If we need to get the replacement in, then we will. And obviously Shimanga, he could be a good long-term option to boost our front line. I mean, if this deal did come off, then if you'd have said in the 21-22 season that Wrexham would have had a front two of Paul Mullin and Kabongo Shimanga, then I think that would have been every non-league club's dream to have those two up front. But if we could make it happen, it would be a really, really good signing. That is not the end of the transfer news. Before I was about to click record, there was another bit of transfer news that has come out that looks legitimate and looks likely to happen, as the deal is in advanced talks between Wrexham and this League of Ireland club. Now, we have been rumoured to sign goalkeeper Luke McNicholas from Sligo Rovers. According to journalist Daniel McDonnell, we have put an £100,000 bid in for the 23-year-old under-21 Irish goalkeeper. And yes, you did hear that right. Wrexham is set to move into different territories for a potential signing, as, like I said, 23-year-old Luke McNicholas is set to be signing for Wrexham AFC, and yet it is said by Daniel McDonnell that Wrexham are in advanced talks to sign McNicholas and the deal could be completed soon. It's reported that it's going to be £100,000 plus add-ons, which, if I'm going off the top of my head, these add-ons could possibly be whether he gets promoted with Wrexham, whether he makes an appearance for Ireland whilst in a Wrexham shirt. Obviously they'll want money back for that, they might have a percentage clause, but yeah, they're the only notable clauses that I could imagine and add-ons that I can imagine happening in this potential deal. But like I said, the highly rated 23-year-old goalkeeper cemented himself as number one at Sligo Rovers last season as Ed McGuinty departed the club for Oxford United in the middle of their European campaign. And like I said, ever since McNicholas has come into that number one shirt, he is thoroughly impressed whilst playing for Sligo Rovers. This could be a really good signing, as it would freshen up the goalkeeping department even more. Obviously with Foster being 40, Howard being 36, Lainton being 33, it would be good to have that youth being pushed into the goalkeeping department. And like I said, having the likes of Foster, who has played at the top of the English pyramid, it will help his development, McNicholas that is, really well, because if I'm being honest, Foster's obviously going to retire at the end of this season, and if he can learn some really good stuff off Foster, then it would really help McNicholas and would really help his development going into that number one spot next season. Yeah, and like I said, I'm glad Parky and his team are looking into different markets, as there could be some hidden talent there. And obviously we've seen Sligo Rovers have let their striker go to Shrewsbury Town this week, so it's clear to see there is some quality in that league, and like I said, I'm really glad we are deciding to dabble into it. McNicholas has obviously gained a vast amount of experience already in his career, playing over 60 games in the League of Ireland for Cliftonville and Sligo Rovers, and obviously not to mention as well playing for Ireland under 21, so it's not like we're signing him without any knowledge of the type of player we are getting. Obviously he's impressed at Cliftonville and Sligo Rovers, and obviously got that incredible call up to the under 21's Ireland squad. So I think this is a really good bit of business if we can get it across the line. The likelihood of this signing is obviously 9 out of 10, that's what I'm going to go for. It's a respected and highly regarded journalist, so I can see it happening. The signing rating, if it happened, again is a 9 out of 10. Obviously we don't know for sure if he's going to cement himself as number one, whether he'll be as good as we could possibly be expecting, but he's young, he can learn from the likes of Foster, Howard and Lainton, which will obviously give him a really good boost and will obviously increase his confidence, hopefully getting that number one shirt next season. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about these two potential signings of Shimanga and Luke McNicholas. So that is it for today's video. Are Wrexham set to splash the cash and pay a combined fee of £600,000 for McNicholas and Shimanga? That will be an interesting question to come back on in a couple of weeks' time to see if these two transfers do get across the line. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think about these two possibly joining. Do all the good stuff, like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you probably on Saturday for the Wimbledon vlog. It's the first one of the season, and I cannot lie, I am massively looking forward to it. So until then, take care, and I'll see you on Saturday for the vlog.